Fisheries and Water Resource Management late this afternoon, advising Barbadians the season will run from Thursday, October 1st to Saturday, October 31st. But people who wish to harvest sea eggs during the open season in October must be registered and licensed by the Chief Fisheries Officer. The license to harvest sea eggs will only be valid during the over 4 weeks of the open season. A new closed season will commence on Sunday, November 1st. Over the past several years, there were calls and several recommendations by fisheries officials to have some form of sea egg season. As a result, divers went out to sea at various sites around the island, trying to determine if there were enough mature sea eggs to harvest. And while they reportedly found enough of the sea urchins to justify a harvest, constant poaching of the delicacy prevented the authorities from allowing a full open season. The last time sea eggs were harvested in Barbados in a full season was in 2004. Peter Thorne, CBC News.
Barbados is set to reduce extreme poverty and create jobs with a new $10 million loan approved by the Inter-American Development Bank, or IDB. As part of the project, the number of extremely poor households in Barbados receiving additional social services and job training will be doubled. Ryan Broom tells us more.
The IDB says Barbados will be able to strengthen its social safety net for its poor citizens and improve labor market training opportunities with the loan. According to the bank, the program seeks to reduce extreme poverty and high unemployment rates in Barbados. It will be structured in 3 components. First, reduce extreme poverty through the expansion and consolidation of the Identification, Stabilization, Enablement and Empowerment Bridge program. Second, to reduce unemployment through improved employment services and demand-driven technical training. And third, to that connects programs executed by various Barbados government agencies. This program will cover 250 additional households, or approximately 2,000 individuals, during a 4-year period, focusing on personal identification, education and human resources development, family dynamics, and health promotion. Now, the IDB will provide US $5 million from its ordinary capital, while the China Co-Financing Fund will contribute US $5 million for the project. The loan has a 25-year maturity, a 5.5-year grace period, and an interest rate based on LIBOR, which is currently about 1.2%. Ryan Broom, CBC News.
The Barbados Water Authority is blaming its aging infrastructure for persistent water outages. Acting General Manager Dr. John Mwanza says they are addressing this through an ongoing mains laying program. Dr. Mwanza was among a team of officials from the BWA on Q100.7 FM's Talk Your Talk radio program.
We anticipated that if we did not start addressing our aging infrastructure, some of which dates back to 1856, we will eventually run into problems. So part of what we're experiencing now that is contributing to these problems is a result of that aging infrastructure, where we end up with frequent breaks and breakdown of equipment. Now, the breakdown of equipment and breakdown of pipes is not so predictable, especially for the pipes that are below ground.
Dr. Mwanza says below normal rainfall is also having an impact on water levels.
For the areas that have been heavily impacted, especially the areas in St. John, St. Andrew, St. Joseph, the higher elevations, St. Thomas, those are fed from 2 reservoirs, Golden Ridge and Castle Grant. Golden Ridge gets its water from 4 wells, Bomeston, 2 wells in Sweetville, Sweetville 1 and 2, and upwards. There's been a 30% reduction in pumping at Bomeston and 50% each at Sweetville 1 and Sweetville 2.
A schoolboy was injured this afternoon when someone threw a stone through the window of a bus at Fairview Road, Christchurch. The stone broke the window of the bus and injured 11-year-old Joshua Springer, a student of Princess Margaret Secondary School. Springer received injuries to his face and sought private medical attention. Now, lawmen say the incident occurred while two school buses approached each other at Fairview Road. The driver of one of the school buses also reported to police that while he and his colleagues investigated the incident, his bag containing his wallet and several cards and $250 in cash was stolen. Barbados needs more inventors and developers to lower unemployment and generate revenue. But at the same time, it's being warned to ensure its products are patented to ensure others do not steal its ideas. This advice was given to scores of youngsters attending a national youth consultation at the Radisson Aquatica this morning. Minister of Youth Stephen Lashley told the students around the world many people are creating goods and services from a young age.
I've seen many innovative projects coming before the ministry, and people are thinking. But we need more of that kind of thought process. We need more patenting of ideas. Because without protecting the intellectual property of what we develop, we are actually creating goods and services for other countries to exploit and not for us to gain economic advantage in.
Vice-Chancellor of the UWI, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, has described pre- and post-emancipation society in Barbados as among the most oppressive in the world. He said for centuries, black Barbadians were taught to be consumers while being discouraged through laws from engaging in business. He made the comments while delivering the annual Leo Leacock Memorial Lecture at the Errol Barrow Center for Creative Imagination last night. Sir Hilary said after emancipation in Barbados, by 1840, there were 298 functioning plantations, with only one, Ellis Castle, being owned by a black man. That number increased to 2 in 1900. Sir Hilary says around that same time, Barbadians were dying from hunger, where citizens had to resort to catching and eating rats to survive because they were landless and barred from taking part in the economy.
The Royal Commission called for an end to black exclusion from the economy. The recommendations were very specific, very clear. It said there must be land reform. There must be incentives given to create black businesses. This was a Royal Commission, 1897. The report was ignored. Now, but this was a time when black folks in Barbados are rushing to Panama to make a living. 45,000 Barbadians, half of the labor force. It's difficult to imagine half of the people on the island disappearing. 45,000, 50% of the laborers on this island went off to Panama.
Sir Hilary says 45,000 Barbadians went to Panama and returned with thousands of dollars and set up friendly societies in an attempt to buy into the system. But he says they were prevented from doing so by the government of the day.
Over 20,000 black persons came back from Panama between 1906 and 1916, and these 20,000 returnees brought back between them 190,000 pounds. 190,000 pounds. They could buy half of the plantations in Barbados with that cash. Now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen now that the black community is riddled with cash in a structure that had excluded them for 200 years? Of course, the first thing they want to do is buy plantations. Not on. The government legislating, plantations shall not be sold.
We'll have more news for you in just a moment, but first we want to get your take on this question. Do you agree with the decision to allow harvesting of sea eggs? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the results for you at the end of the news.
It's the flavor that's loved by almost everyone, and everyone should be free to enjoy it. That's why Byko is introducing Diabetic Delight in delicious chocolate flavor. So go on, indulge yourself in this guilt-free and healthy choice. Byko Diabetic Delight ice cream is also available in mango, vanilla, and strawberry from retail stores, Byko Mobilers, and the Byko Direct Outlet.
Shopping in the Sky is simply delicious at our mouth-watering brand new Sky Food Court. Our amazing spread includes Little Pleasures ice cream, coffee, and desserts. Authentic Asian cuisine at Waldy's Walk. Delectable Greek dining at Opa Express. A range of sumptuous Caribbean dishes at Tamarind of the Islands. And the very best of Bajan cuisine and pastries. Compliments Master Chef Peter Edie and his delightful pastry house and Peter Patties. Plus, we've got the world-renowned fast food giant, Burger King. You cannot pass Haggett Hall and not join us for a quick, delicious meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at our brand new food court. Only at Sky Mall, where, when it comes to great fast food, there are no limits.
When you need space to grow, there's nothing like the home you own. Let Scotiabank open the door for you with competitive rates and support every step of the way. Visit us today and discover what's possible.
Make no mistake, when you're looking for the #1 source of the latest business news in Barbados, the region, and beyond, it has to be The Bottom Line, produced and presented by me, Ryan Broom, every weekday morning on CBC's 94.7 FM at 7:50 a.m. It comes to you with the kind compliments of the Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union Limited, reminding you to save smart and borrow smarter. So remember, make it your business to tune into The Bottom Line, the best source for business news on the radio.
Even though the sargassum seaweed appears to be abating, the National Conservation Commission is not giving up the fight. 2 beach cleaner machines have been ordered, which General Manager Keith Neblett says will be of great benefit in maintaining the beaches.
When you see the beaches after they're clean with the equipment, it's going to be a blessing, for all ones to see. So we are hoping that that we have to use it minimally, but if it reaches a point where we have to use it, we are ordering 2 of them. Someone will be coming to train the staff. We are hoping to have them here by the end of October, probably early November. And that the event that it continues going into the winter season, at least we'll be in a position at least to deal with it quickly. It will not stop us from having to use equipment because there can be areas that are not accessible by it.
Public servants from Barbados and the region will soon have a place where they can access strategic training and development. It will come with the official opening of the Cave Hill School of Business's Public Service Centre. During a symbolic launch of the centre at the Hilton Barbados yesterday, Chief Executive Officer Dr. Janine Comma said she has already received confirmation of interest and support from the Prime Ministers of Barbados, St. Lucia and St. Vincent.
The Public Service Centre will offer a range of talent development initiatives that are itinerant across the region and supportive of individual as well as sub-regional efforts by governments to develop world-class public services in the Caribbean. We believe that the time is now, and we are taking advantage of that time.
In an earlier presentation, opposition leader Mia Motley suggested Cave Hill would be the ideal place for much-needed strategic training for the region's public sector. She also said closer cooperation across the region is required to help save money and provide better opportunities for civil servants. Ms. Motley told the closing ceremony the public sector must be deconstructed in order for it to become more efficient.
If we deconstruct many of the regulations and the considerations of bureaucratic obstructions that currently humbug our citizens and our private sector, will then be capable of being confronted directly. And we can then truly, for the first time, in a post-21st century Caribbean, benefit from the infusion of technology.
2 students from the Lodge School have caught first prize in the 2nd edition of the Barbados and Caribbean Dueling Junior Challenge. They are Tonya Brereton and Deshaun Miller, who have won a trip to the International Culinary Conference as well as a fridge and stove for their school. They emerged victorious out of 9 islands taking part in the cook-off. Principal of the Lodge School, Vasco Dash, says it's fitting that as the school moves to celebrate its 270th anniversary next week, that they should emerge victors in the competition. He says even though the Michaelmas term is into its third week, they're still getting applications for the home economics class.
We have been at this competition for a while and have won the whole thing, not just the Barbados side, but the Caribbean side makes us extremely proud. Early in the year, we had the demonstration at Emerald City Supermarket where the children demonstrated their skills as well, which is also well received. So you can see that we are producing and we are working hard. And we want to thank all of you people who helped us, all the chefs who gave the extra coaching to the children, sandals which allowed the children to come in and visit. Mr. Edie, who did his bit, parents who pushed the children.
Chef Peter Edie says even though it took Lodge School 10 years to win the competition, it proves that with dedication, hard work and perseverance, success will come.
Every year we kind of wonder what group you're going to get, because just like school, some groups are very, very sharp, some you have to work a little harder on. This year it was a group, we did something a little different this year where we had 3 competitors instead of 2. So it made it a little more challenging for them, so we had to work a little bit more. Halfway through I was wondering, did we do the right thing this year at all? Because it seemed so hard to get them going to Patriot and all that.
Well, still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. But first, a reminder that we want to hear from you on this question. Do you agree